Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily Apple report for Friday, November 17th, 2023. But before I walk you through the charts, as usual, just want to encourage you to please click like if you haven't already, subscribe to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel, share the content if you would with friends and colleagues, and check out wickedstocks.com, where we offer a full suite of both daily and weekly analytical videos just like this one. Daily analysis in the SPY and the Triple Q, that is the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 ETFs. Weekly analysis in the S&P 500 Index, the NASDAQ 100 Index, the Long Bond ETF, the TLT, as well as 2 individual stock picks a week that you never see on YouTube. That is 8 a month that cater to the 3 to 5 week swing trader out to the 3 to 5 month near-term investor. We're always looking for at least 20% moves on those stock picks, and you can check out all of this for no cost for 5 days. We offer a 5-day free trial up front with a wickedstocks.com subscription. So sign up for wickedstocks.com, check it all out. If you don't like what you see within 5 days, you can cancel your subscription at no cost to you whatsoever. Before I jump into the charts, I just want to mention that this week we put out 2 stock picks, of course, like we do every week, Mosaic and Stryker. You might want to check those out. There's lots going on with both of those charts, 10-minute videos in each. We offer that for free. Wickedstocks.com has a 5-day free trial up front. So let's jump into Apple's charts long term. I'm going to do the math on the slide right now. We are comfortably above, and I'm going to give it to you verbally, just to give you the precise number, 185.93 plus 1.8593 is 187.77. So, we'll get to that in just a moment, but that is your magic number for the week. If we close today, the week itself, at 187.77 or higher, we're almost 2 full points above it as we speak, then we've entered another buy signal. Our last longer-term buy opportunity was in the mid-160s about a month ago when we slipped into this zone. We've tested it several times over the last few months, 165.23 to 166.65, able to contain selling well into next year, and above which I've maintained a 231.11 long-term objective. That's for investors, basically. Those who hold positions anywhere from 6 months out to several years, and that is the bottom picking opportunity that the mid-160s has. And now that we may be closing today, the week itself, above the 185.93 descending channel top by a full 1% margin, once again, 187.77 or higher. In fact, I would just have you focus on 188.09, which I'll give to you in just a moment. There's an actual steeply rising channel bottom there today. But if we close above this area, 188.09 or higher, then I do see bullish continuation, continued gains to 231.11, by the middle of next year or sooner, could be as little as 3 to 5 months. And that is really the big picture right now. Now, let's take a look at the daily chart. I'll take you here. That same formation that is at 185.93 on the weekly chart is on the daily chart at 184.90, a full point wide. And that's just the way it can play out sometimes with the weekly versus the daily charts. Our initial target following the settlement above this area earlier in the week, we tested actually on Thursday, 189.98 to 190.69. This is the pullback high from September, and there's a gap low here at 190.69. We actually pushed through both of these levels on Thursday, backed away to close below them. They can still contain daily buying pressures, and below which 3 to 5 day traders can very so carefully play the short side back into the mid-180s. But I would rather have you long from the mid-180s, anticipating higher trade as we move into next week. And in fact, if we can close today above 190.69, I do see the 198.23 July all-time high as a mere 1 to 2 week target. We just might reach it by the end of next week. Could take the better part of 2 weeks. And this is an area, 198.23, where we could double top on a weekly basis, possibly into December trade, and then from there fall back into the mid-180s again within several weeks. But let's go with the day itself. Pushing or opening above 190.69 does signal 192.65 today, and that is the low of the high. That could be it for the day. But if we do close close above 190.69, which does completely close the gap on a settlement basis. Once again, I think within 2 weeks at the very most, this 198.23 level right about here on the chart anticipated where we could top out on a weekly basis. So your next 3 to 5 day swing trade to the upside, well, one did present about 3 days ago when we closed clearly above the 184.90 channel top. But the next one is above 190.69, then expecting 198.23. 198.23 is considered a 2 to 3 week target anyway, above 184.90. And once again, I'm going to take you back to the 188.09 level. This 188.09, if we close above it today, if we hold it today, and it can contain intraday selling pressures, possibly for the day itself. If we hold above it, then we're also above that 185.93 formation by the full 1% margin, which puts us into another buy signal that I'm expecting to play out into Q1, Q2 of next year. Now, preceding 188.09, do I have it? I don't think I have it, actually. I didn't show it here. There is a shorter term channel bottom at 188.61, so we don't show that today, but I will go back to 188.09. And that is to say that merely closing today below 188.09 should result in a retest or a test of the 184.90 channel top within a matter of 2 to 3 days. So I will say that this is your downside swing trade. I'm talking to 3 to 5 day swing traders. If we close below 188.09, we can pivot south. This is really the wrong chart for that because I'm not expecting 179.80. What I would expect if we close today below 188.09 is 184.90. And the weekly chart comes in this week at 185.93, but it will be lower in the 184 handle next week. So this area expected within a few days of closing below 188.09. I do think this zone able to contain selling through next week. Now, I also just mentioned that if we close below 188.09, and more precisely 187.77 for the day itself, that is inside the 1% zone on this channel top. And so we are then off the buy signal. We haven't really been on it yet, but we're really close to doing that. If we close today above 185.93 by a full 1% margin of 187, it's actually 187.79. And if we close today at 187.79 or lower, the market is susceptible to falling back. But it's not a big sell-off. I think it's very stair-step right now. I'll show you, and this is what I've been showing now all week, and that is to say that if we do close below 184.90, I don't see that as a good high through the rest of the year. I see that as a good high through next week, and over the following 3 to 5 days, we should fall to 179.81, where we could bottom out on a weekly basis and perhaps bottom out through all of December. In terms of whether or not we clearly retest long-term support in the mid-160s, that comes into play if we were to close in the coming week or two back below 179.81. So that's your downward pivot point into December. Your upward pivot point, we are above 184.90, preceded by 185.93. And as I say, if we close above 185.93 today by a 1% margin, that's 187.79 or higher. And I invite you to just merely use the steeply rising channel bottom at 188.09 as your 1% violation threshold. As long as we hold this formation today, we are in another longer-term buy signal. And back to the day itself, this area can give the market trouble, but if we push through 190.69, 192.65 likely today, and if we close above 190.69, we should, over the following week, 2 at the most, rally on up to that 198.23 July 23 all-time high, where yes, we can double top on a weekly, possibly monthly basis, but I do think it would be and is, if it occurs today, a settlement above 185.93 that carries with it a longer-term buy signal that should yield 215.03 by the end of Q1 or sooner. And as I started out with, the 231.11 formation by the middle of next year or sooner. I don't think there's really anything else that needs to be said. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. We've got triple Q analysis and SPY analysis on a daily basis, and weekly stock picks, 2 a week that I've already mentioned. And they're all very relevant over the last month or so. I'm going to leave it at that for Friday's Apple report. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with Mondays. You have a great weekend.